This is the granddaddy of them all, like the Rose Bowl. We will predict our Super Bowl champions today.
Yeah.
If you want to say who they play, if you want to do a final score, you don't have to. You can just say one name out of 32 that will win the Super Bowl in San Francisco all the way in February. And I have a feeling, I've heard a little birdie tell me that two people at this table are going to do it very soon to right now.
Well, you're saying that we could sit here and just say one team? What kind of segment would that be? That's not good television.
Do as you will. It's your canvas,
I
Erdal.
think we should do matchups.
Oh, okay, fine.
And then I shall pick a winner.
Go ahead.
And I think I'll raise my hand and volunteer to
Set
start.
the tone, Jamie.
Now?
I'm going to start.
We're going now?
Set the tone.
All right, Jamie, this is
It's been a
difficult.
weird week. We did Whiteboard Wednesday yesterday in the first segment of the show, and today I'm just gonna jump on it.
Great.
But I have to tell you guys something.
Okay.
I got lost on Reddit the other night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a weird place.
Sure.
People discuss and rank, honestly, the wildest stuff on there.
The heart of the internet, they say.
Yeah, so like I found unconventional things squirrels eat, or like the best carpets in airports. People talk about this stuff. But then I found a list that I read into the wee hours of the night. In fact, I didn't go to bed. I just got up the next morning and did Good Morning Football. It was like a football doom scroll. Mm-hmm. It was the top 10 Super Bowls that never happened. It was great. It was like play pretend history lesson.
Okay, I know some of those.
So I'm clicking. Like the 2006, people really wanted Bears Chargers, right?
Yeah.
In 2000, people wanted the Ravens defense against the greatest show on turf. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then I got to the number one on the list that never happened. And I felt like I got into an emotional fender bender. I'm not going to say car crash. I'm not that dramatic. And I've matured. Perhaps. Because the number one Super Bowl matchup that never happened on this list on Reddit is my worst childhood nightmare. It's my worst childhood memory. You're hearing a lot about how people are trying to fix their childhood traumas. This one is absolutely unfixable for me, perhaps until this year. I was 10. I cried into the back of the couch in mid-January of 1999 when two different outcomes happened on two different field goal attempts to two different kickers with the same last name. It happened, it was horrific, and it kept the Minnesota Vikings from facing the Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 33. In what dark places on the internet argue is the greatest Super Bowl that never happened. But what if, nearly 30 years later, it happens? What if I think the Broncos and the Vikings will be playing in the Super Bowl
There we go.
in mid-February of 2026 after a 2025 regular season where you will see the Denver Broncos as your AFC champions and the Minnesota Vikings as your NFC champions.
There we go, Jamie.
Elway, Cunningham, great. But I think Nix and McCarthy is a better story. Speaking of the internet, it's been a fun couple of days on the World Wide Web. We disclosed our playoff teams earlier this week. And listen, for as euphoric as it is, if your team can go from 5 wins to 14, that same thing can happen to anyone the opposite direction just as fast. So while I apologize for making you maybe feel like your team isn't in and you're mad at me about that, that doesn't mean that I'm not sorry that I have the Vikings winning the NFC North and the NFC.
Don't be
sorry. And I'm not sorry that the Broncos are going to be the AFC champions. Now, enough of the past matchup. This one is electric, and it's riddled with storylines. Denver, a reigning Defensive Player of the Year, continues to prowl and lead a group that finished as one of the best defensive units last year. Mm-hmm. There was a twinkle in the eye of a rookie quarterback that, given the right support, I believe will easily transfer to this year, and a coach that has seen it all. Minnesota, an equally soul-stealing defense, will hound quarterbacks this year. The best wide receiver in the game, and that quarterback's twinkle, well, that is the scariest answer in football. It's the we don't know, we haven't seen him. And to that I say that we are the sum of the people that you surround yourself with. So if I'm J.J. McCarthy, I got Kevin O'Connell, I got Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen now, Aaron Jones. I have an O-line that's been invested in, and a Brian Flores defense. That is a great group of people to surround myself with. That's the dream. So, to heal my 10-year-old heartbreak, the sweet sound of the Gallerhorn will fill
Unbelievable.
fill the air, the crisp mid-February air. And the Minnesota Vikings, in their 5th Super Bowl appearance, will finally for the first time in the history of the organization, win a Lombardi? That is my Super Bowl pick.
That's the way to set the tone, Jamie.
Good morning, Ian Rappaport, our NFL Network insider, with us this morning. Rap Sheet, how are you? Happy day one of the 2025 NFL season.
Yeah,
however, I'm sure there is one team not too far from you that would wish for different news on their offensive line. What's going on?
Yeah, for the New York Jets, not the news you would want to start the season, really not the news you would want at any point during the season. Elijah Vera-Tucker, not a household name, but maybe the Jets' best offensive lineman, certainly someone who's heading into a contract year playing as well as can be, has torn his triceps and is expected to be out for the season. This confirmed by a battery of tests over the last couple of days. He is now out indefinitely, expected to miss the season. For the New York Jets, this was someone who not only was a great player, but also was someone who was helping some of those young offensive linemen get on the same page, know what to do and all that. Multifaceted impact for AVT. Joe Tribman, Josh Myers, Chuks Okorafor all have position flexibility. All could help fill the void at guard, but for the Jets, no doubt, a big blow. And for Aaron Glenn, first-time head coach, this is the challenge he now faces week one. For the Los Angeles Chargers, they had for sure challenges at the running back position earlier this offseason. Najee Harris suffered what was termed a superficial eye injury with a fireworks incident. He missed all of training camp essentially. It was activated into the 53-man roster, and according to Coach Jim Harbaugh, is expected to play on Friday. This is very good news for the Los Angeles Chargers. We'll see how much he plays versus Marion Hampton versus the Kansas City Chiefs. But out on the field, a good outcome for Najee Harris. And then tonight's game, the Dallas Cowboys are expected to have star corner Trayvon Diggs. I would say likely starting would be Diggs. He is recovering from a knee injury, another year where a knee injury shortened his season. Some thought that he'd probably be looking at maybe the middle of 2025 or when he would be back. It sounds like rehab went really, really well. He is expected to play tonight. I'm told he will be on a pitch count. They'll communicate with him. They will monitor him. It will likely be shorter than the full complement of snaps, but he is expected to go for Dallas.
Okay. Manti, what do we want to see from the Cowboys defense that does not have Micah Parsons anymore?
Yeah, they don't have Micah Parsons anymore, and that's okay. They have Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus.
You are obsessed with Matt Eberflus.
I am. Why?
Let's stop the show for a second. All right, Matt Eberflus.
Yes.
Let's give a little background.
Yes.
All right. Matt Eberflus, several years ago, Colts defensive coordinator.
Great.
Infamously on a Colts Hard Knocks team in season that came just up short of the playoffs. Carson Wentz was their quarterback. Mm-hmm. Bears loved Matt Eberflus. They hired him. He came in. Not successful, was let go last year against the Lions on Thanksgiving when the Bears ran out of time, even though they still had a timeout. So the Cowboys then hired him to be a defensive coordinator, which is looked at as a good hire.
Yes,
because maybe this is a much better fit than the head coach. So
yes.
Manti is fired up about Matt Eberflus.
Yes.
There's not a lot of you, but maybe the Cowboys guys are. Tell us why.
Well, I'm fired up because he does two things well. He takes the ball away and he stops the run. And I think that going into this evening, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to be like Coach Yost from Remember the Titans. We're going to blitz all night. What I didn't like hearing from Rap Sheet is that Trayvon Diggs is going to be on a pitch count. Because in order to play the type of defense I think they need to play in order to be successful, they need to have not 8 guys, all 9 guys in the box.
Yeah.
Like Trayvon Diggs and Bland, we're paying the big bucks for a reason. You're going to be on an island with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith all night long. Like, don't expect any safety help. Don't respect. Wherever they go, you go. We're going to focus on stopping the run because if they can't tonight, and you know that's what they're going to do. The Eagles are going to try to run the ball, and KB wants them to run the tush push on play one. You need to stop that run. So defensively,
I can't believe, Manti, in the year 2025, we're running VO of Matt Eberflus in a Bears hat. I thought that tape was burned.
Right.
There he is.
Yep.
And
Okay,
he's
good.
the bell of the ball for Teo. I think the Dallas Cowboys defense is really interesting tonight, earnestly. Friend of the show, Bill Simmons from The Ringer, for years, if you have read him, listened to him, he has something called the Ewing theory. Patrick Ewing. And it goes way back to, at one point, the Knicks, Patrick Ewing gets hurt. He's the best player. He's the center of the franchise. And the Knicks went on a tear without their star player because athletes who don't have the star player are either motivated or annoyed or they want to prove something. I wonder if the Ewing theory is in effect tonight for the Dallas Cowboys, who a very talented group, a very proud group of professionals who is really being roundly disrespected across the board from people, I guess, like me, who have just said, well, they're obviously not winning much this year because they traded the best player right before the season. So I would think going into Philadelphia, already it's going to be heated. No one believes in you. It's like supposed to be just the Eagles' coronation ball again. Mm-hmm. I wonder what's going through the head of those guys about, like, I don't care about Micah. I don't care about the Eagles. Like, do you know who the hell I am? There's a chance right then those guys come out there really chippy. And I'm not going to sit here in the second segment and predict an upset, but I will remind you that bizarre things always happen in week 1 of the NFL schedule, and I would not be astronomically surprised if the Cowboys won the game outright tonight. I would not.
Well, and listen, also, Nick Sirianni has said that the Eagles are not coming out for the banner dropping, banner raising, or whatever. I always think they unfurl it, like they drop it.
Maybe they will.
Banner unfurling. But the point is the Eagles aren't going to be out there. That doesn't mean that it's not an emotionally charged night for the Eagles. Like, we were joking with the crew here minutes before we went on the air, and I'm like, you don't think there's people in the parking lot now? Like, we had fans on our NBC show last night who I was convinced they were going to sleep in the parking lot. They have, and the players feel that. The team feels it. So, Kyle, to your point, while there might be a fiery, petty charge within the Cowboys coming in and just being annoyed that their entire franchise is being denigrated because they traded away Micah Parsons, this also might be matched with an Eagles team who, even though they don't watch the banner be dropped, that doesn't mean that they can't feel maybe the weight, and it might be hard to get their footing underneath them when the game starts. You're right, weird things.
Can you imagine the Cowboys win this game tonight and Jerry's in that scrum with everyone around him? What is it, the Conor McGregor, like that thing? Jerry's just sitting like, he would imagine Mr. Jones if they go to Philly and beat the champs on banner night. And what if they sack Jalen Hurts like 5 times and the defense is just playing out of their minds? There's a lot of what ifs. Yep. But man, if you just want the pure entertainment, Dallas winning tonight is the answer if you want. If you got no dog in this fight, why not?
Before Chargers-Chiefs, we'll see what kind of animal Jim Harbaugh puts on the field with the Chargers offense this season and Justin Herbert working together yet again. So the two of them spoke to the media. What's going on? What's their feeling down there right now?
Well, I think the theme that the Chargers spoke about yesterday, both Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, is what an honor it is to be here, to represent the Chargers on the global stage, do their small part in helping grow the game internationally and to show what Chargers football is all about, and really what American football is all about. They want to show that enthusiasm, the passion, the relentlessness, the physicality that the Chargers want to play with. They want to show that tomorrow night here in Sao Paulo and really to the worldwide audience that'll be watching on YouTube. They're embracing all of it. And I talked to Tarheeb Still yesterday. He said he felt well rested. He watched a bunch of film on the plane ride over and then slept for 7 hours. Woke up with about 45 minutes to go on the flight, and talking with some of the Chargers yesterday, they all felt like that. They got a good night's sleep. They're just following one step at a time. And I even asked Quentin Johnson yesterday, all that enthusiasm and passion that Jim Harbaugh talks about, how that might have served them on this trip. They're traveling, more than 12 hours on a flight. They're playing in an unfamiliar environment in a week 1 setting, a big divisional matchup, and they said, that's what it's all about. They're just doing each step at a time. The first step was the flight. The second step was the practice yesterday. Speaking to the media was another part. They'll have a walkthrough at Corinthians Arena, the stadium where the game will be held tomorrow, and just taking it day by day, hour by hour, and really embracing the entire trip, this entire opportunity for them to really get off to the season, the 2025, the right way, and start the divisional race with the lead here against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Remember that trend that was recent about guys, quote unquote, raw dogging flights where they would just sit there the whole time? I feel like that's a Jim Harbaugh thing. I think he just sits there for like 15 hours and does nothing and just looks at the seat back in front of him because he can just find that zone. Andy Reid, though, probably has all kinds of obligations and things to entertain him, probably catches a nap. Because, Omar, you told us yesterday, the Chiefs yesterday, their whole itinerary for the day was just flying. They were in the air down to South America. They're there now, so what is next? They've landed. Hopefully they've acclimated. What's the order of business today for the AFC champs?
Yeah, getting in last night, checking into the hotel, and then we're here at their practice facility where they'll spend the morning having a practice, a workout. Almost 200 members of the media expected. There's about 130 yesterday for the Chargers, more today for the Kansas City Chiefs. There you see Patrick Mahomes getting on the plane, the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're used to playing in these international spotlights. They played in Germany a couple years ago. Obviously, they played in 3 straight Super Bowls, and several of them have played in more than that. So they're used to playing in this international stage with so many media members and different questions, and they'll get a lot of that here today after their practice. So they'll spend some time working out with a walkthrough, and then they'll meet with the media and answer all these questions. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid will have individual press conferences, and then several others will have individual interviews later today. But as far as getting their season started the right way, obviously want to get that bad taste out of their mouth from Super Bowl 59 and the loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. No better way to do it than here on the international stage against a division rival in the LA Chargers.
All right, Omar, we appreciate every angle of your coverage from Sao Paulo. We can't wait to see what you get into tonight. I'm sure we'll talk to you tomorrow on Good Morning Football and have a photo of your dinner in hand.
Kickoff tonight, kickoff tonight, kickoff tonight. Not preseason, not off-season, regular season games that significantly matter in Philadelphia tonight, Cowboys versus Eagles. And here's the deal. This is the standalone kickoff game. It's not the full slate, as you knew, on Sunday. And there is a really cool history of the kickoff classic being an instant classic. And I have a summation right here over the last couple decades of that first game that we're getting tonight, just going completely off the rails. Let's go back in time. Let's go to 2004. Colts Patriots is all you need to know. This is what we did back then. It was Colts Patriots all the time. And it was usually the Patriots that win. Now, this is the kickoff of the season. They had played in the AFC title game the year before, an infamous game in the snow. In this game, Edgerrin James went nuts for the Colts. Brady threw 3 touchdowns. He had over 300 yards. It was a back-and-forth classic as you see people like David Patton and Deion Branch in the back of the end zone. This was what we tuned in for every single time, Colts Patriots. And at the end of the game, the infamous kicker, Mike Vanderjagt, some would call him the idiot kicker, who never, ever missed a kick, taunted the Patriots with the money sign as he went to go to a game-tying 48-yard field goal. Al Michaels on the call. How'd it go?
48-yard attempt. Vanderjagt had a perfect season. He's made 42 straight, an NFL record, and he'll try to send the game perhaps into overtime. New England will have a little bit of time on the other end of this. And Vanderjagt cannot make it. Wide right, and the Indianapolis Colts will go home again in total exasperation after playing New England.
That was what it was, total exasperation for the Colts at that time. But let's move on. The Colts would finally get right. 2011, Saints-Packers. This was Breeze versus Rodgers. Breeze versus Rodgers. Now, Rodgers has just won the Super Bowl and one of the best playoff runs of all time. The score was 42-34. Rodgers and Breeze both had 3 touchdown passes with no interceptions. Darren Sproles had a punt return touchdown. Everyone was going up. Randall Cobb had a 108-yard kickoff return in this game. Randall Cobb used to do the kickoffs, and it was a perfect duel on a perfect night in Lambeau. And I remember it came down to the very end, and our guy right there, that's our guy, man, Mark Ingram, big trust.
Big trust.
Got turned away at the goal line, and it just felt like this is very special. Rodgers would go on in a 15-1 team to win the MVP. They would lose to the Giants in the title game. Next, where do we go next? This, to me, is the craziest one. This is 2013. This is Ravens-Broncos. This is Peyton Manning throwing 7 touchdown passes through the teeth of that super respected Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens defense. Here's what's really interesting about this. So the Ravens win the Super Bowl the prior year.
Yeah.
So why are they playing the game in Denver? Because of the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles were playing and had the rights to the home field parking, and the NFL and MLB could not come to an agreement about the facilities. So Baltimore has to go to Denver, horrible place to play, very difficult, and they proceeded to get smoked in Peyton Manning's greatest game of his career. Can you imagine that?
You're saying baseball plays 162 and the Orioles couldn't give up a parking lot for the Ravens to celebrate the
They had a night game the night before, and they did not want to have to play a day game on short notice. They're like, no, we are keeping the night game. The Orioles said, no, I don't care if the Ravens are Super Bowl champs. It's our parking. They go to Denver, 7 touchdowns later. It's crazy. That's a great story.
Late last night for the San Francisco 49ers, they cleaned up kind of an annoying contractual issue they had all training camp. Juwan Jennings was griping for a new contract, was on a vastly undervalued deal considering his production. They end up giving him $3 million more in incentives, so it's the opportunity to make $10.5 million as opposed to the $7.5 million he was slated to make. So not a new deal, but at least some incentives.
Call them bird watchers. Yeah.
I feel so bad for you having to play in the rain.
What you mean? This is the most fun I ever have in the rain. I had too much fun.
The stadiums build out these experiences for the players to walk by fans as they hit the field, and most fans just want to see the guys, and they're all serious. And then Brandon Graham's over there greeting the fans. He's like, yeah, don't knock over my beer. I got to go play the game. That's a dude right there that played for 15 seasons for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is retired now, a two-time Super Bowl champ, BG, and he's joining GMFB. What's going on, Brandon?
I'm feeling good, Good morning. I'm feeling good from last night, as you know.
Brandon. Yeah. BG, we said goodnight to you last night at about 11:15 when we got off the air for NBC. You're back at the link. The fans, a couple questions. Did you sleep there? And any of the fans that were with us on our Kickoff Eve special, did they sleep there as well? Because I did see a few sleeping bags.
Well, I didn't sleep here, but I can't sleep today because I got to see that star collapse today.
Juice.
Oh, my
Still
God.
got it. All right, BG, 15 years. BG, tell me, how weird was it this morning when you woke up knowing that for the first time in 15 years on a game day, you're not going to go through the same ritual that you did for 15 years? Tell me.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was a little like, wow, but I did a little bit. I went down my playlist like I normally do because I was getting ready for y'all because I'm taking that same approach of just waking up in the morning. You know what? We're going to have fun on GMFB, so let's do it. So I had to get in that mindset, getting game day ready. But I know when I get on the field today, when we do some stuff, during the game, I know it's going to hit me then. But I'm trying to take the same approach in this as I do in football.
Well, that's why we love you. Well, some of that approach involves attacking the Cowboys when you're on the field. Brandon, we've talked so much about the Cowboys' defense because of the Micah trade. Let's talk about Dak. You have a lot of experience against Dak. Take your time and just open up your Dak files for us. What is it like to play against him? What is it like to sack him? How do you beat him? Do you talk to him? Does he talk back? We just want to hear all about you versus Dak and what the Eagles might have to do tonight to stop him.
Well, tonight, I know that they're going to try to establish the run. They got a bunch of running backs right now that they're trying to figure out who's going to be the guy and who's going to take them over the top. I know they're going to try to establish a run game. They always try to come at us with a balanced attack. They're going to throw some play action in there. They're going to do some quick game. They're going to try to mix it up. But what I do know is if you get back there a couple times and hit him and sack him a couple times, I mean, he's tough. But with any quarterback, then you start moving around and you start missing throws, and that's what I'm hoping Jalen Carter and the guys up front, or Jamo Morrow, my boy, I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, but I'm sorry, Nolan. He's a guy that I know that's going to go out there, strip sack somebody, and then Jalen Hunt, like I said last night, going to scoop and score, and then Nas, we going to really be in his head because he going to hear me too.
I can't wait for that. And I know that these Cowboys are going to try to take the fans out of the game because, as you told us, BG, you think the link is going to be lit. We know you played for the Eagles. And how would you describe then the Cowboys in one word, sort of keeping on that Eagles hat, but make sure it is TV appropriate?
Annoying. Because for one, every year they always saying, this is the year. Not trading Micah. That ain't it, So I think it's more annoying now because every year is going to be their year. This going to be our year this year, and then Jerry, rained on their parade.
Brandon, it is the city of brotherly love, and to that point, I challenge you. I want you to say something nice right now about the Dallas Cowboys. Anything you want.
If I had to say anything nice, they have a nice stadium.
On brand.
Nice. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. BG, it's prediction week here on GMFB. I'm wearing a Vikings jersey, and you and I talked about how hard it's been for the Vikings to go through the Eagles in history in the playoffs, so that will be a tall task. Do you have a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year this season?
I'm gonna keep it Eagles because Zach Bond last year, I mean, he deserved to be in that conversation big time. I mean, I know they was talking about it, but I think he'll repeat this year, if not get better, because already, you know, on what I saw in practice, on how he carried himself, he's a captain this year. I know he's taking on that role. He's financially, stable now where he got his contract, and now he can just go out there and really play and turn it up this year for him.
Yeah, we had a trivia segment last week in preparation of this game, and we had a refresher on Zach Bond's emergence and introduction to the Eagles' defense last year in the international game, the first game of the season for you guys against the Packers. Did you have a who is that dude? What's his name? Zach Bond moment? Like, do you have one memory that sticks out for you where you really knew what that guy was about and the future he was going to have on this defense?
You know what? That first game definitely showed me a lot, from just the field conditions to the way he was on the sideline going through everything with N'Kobe and all the guys. I just love that he was in tune with what was going on in the game, and then he went out there and he played. He played to the end, and as you know, he made that sack to stop him and made a big play in the end. And man, I love his little celebration, baby. Hey, yeah. I like it. You know, I'm looking for a lot of that tonight.
What's cool is that last year, your first game of your final season was down in Brazil. You've been there. You guys went there. You guys got the win last year. Now we got Chargers and Chiefs. The game is great. The matchup is great. Tap into your memory and just tell us what we can expect from that game and maybe what the players are going through.
Well, I know the first game, like I said, the field conditions it's a soccer field. It's a lot of slipping. So if I would say, get you some studs, 7-inch studs, make sure your cleats is together, then go out there and be the best version of who you are as a player, and then hope it translate to a win for whoever team. But as I told you yesterday, I'm looking for the Chargers to be that new reigning champ in the West, and for them to go out there and start it with this game against the Chiefs.
BG, I know you talked about Zach Bond being your prediction for Defensive Player of the Year, but I actually picked a teammate of yours, Jalen Carter. I love Jalen Carter on that D-line. Tell me about the expectations that we can have for somebody like that who continues to dominate this game.
Well, as many plays as Jalen Carter plays out there, I know they're going to ramp him up. This is the first game. Of course, his juices are flowing. He's ready to go. I know that we got some great coaches, and they're going to ramp him up really nice. And so I expect him really this game to go out there and beat him. He might not be as I feel like they're going to double team him. He got to get used to that again. It's going to be a new year for him, but I think we got a bunch of guys like Nolan Smith and those guys to take off them double teams once they start making plays. And Jalix Hunt, can't wait to watch all of them together, because as a D-line, you got to be a cohesive unit, and you got to make sure that y'all together and communicating. And so I think that Jalen Carter will definitely have that potential to be the Defensive Player of the Year too. And I love that you kept it Eagles.
55, we consider you part of the family. We have been making Super Bowl picks this morning across the board, the matchup and the winner. If I can assume that you would like Philly to repeat, tell me otherwise. Who do you think they play in the AFC in the Super Bowl?
Well, I did hear you talking about the Bills. Yes. I love McDermott as a coach. I had him my first year, only for 1 year as a coordinator, so I know how he rolls. He's straight to the point. He's a guy that's all about regimen, and he's going to continue to keep that. And so, he's made it to 4 championship games, just haven't got over the hump. I say they get over the hump this year, and it'll be Eagles, Bills for sure, and it's going to be a good game. I ain't going to say who I think I'm going to win, because y'all going to say I'm biased, but I really feel like with the mindset that these guys got this year already as the Eagles, with the type of team they have, Coach Sirianni's done a great job with just refocusing and making sure that it's about 2025 season, not 2024.
BG, it's a good take, and you're able to stand on that. Last question for you. We always in-bump with you and your chatter that you would like to do before the snap and after the snap, and you just like to have friendly engagement, if you will, with guys on the other team. Did you pass that baton along to anybody on this defense? Is there someone else that we should be miking up in anticipation of, this next era of chatter on the field for the Eagles?
Well, we spoke about him already. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. I mean, you just got to protect Jalen Carter from Jalen Carter because he'll go up there. I ain't looking for these guys after the game. It's all fun and games with me. I'm just more like, hey, I'm trying to get a job done. I'm trying to get in your head. I'm trying to make some plays while I'm out there while you make mistakes because of what you thought about what I said. And so I think Jalen Carter could definitely be the guy to step it up. But Nolan Smith got to hold him back, as you can see, because he's a guy that's going to pick the quarterback up, and sometimes he want to throw him on the ground like the old school days, but it ain't the old school days. And I like his aggression.
Well, here's what I think about what you said, Brandon. You said Bills Eagles, and you didn't give us the winner. I think you don't want to give the winner because you don't want to betray the Eagles community on live TV, and you think it's going to be the Bills.
No, I heard you say the Bills, but I'm gonna be a realist. I just say I love that our guys are, with their mindset, and so now they just got to go do it one day at a time. It's the journey that you go through. The Bills still has a journey to go through too.
Yeah,
they have all them things that they got a chip on their shoulder. They got everything that they need to go and make a push. But it's about staying healthy. It's about making sure that y'all working every day, and that when you do have bad days, you flush it and you move on and you get ready for the next one. So one foot after the other. And both teams have to do that in order to be there.
You know what, BG? I want to thank you because it's game day. It's an hour and a half into the show, and I hadn't heard one day at a time yet. It's a staple. It is a crutch that we support us in the football community. So thank you, Brandon Graham. We're going to see you later. We know that there's a lot of special stuff coming up the sleeve of the Eagles and their celebrations in anticipation of tonight, and we can't wait to watch this whole thing unfold for you, but also for us on Good Morning Football because I know you're locked in with us for the season.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm thankful to be here with you guys. Looking forward to it. Like I say, E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! All night.
There he is.
Great job.
See you later, BG.
All right, our next guest loves high school football more than anyone has ever loved anything ever in the history of mankind. He also loves the NFL. He knows a lot about the NFL. His name is Ross Tucker. He has the Ross Tucker Football Podcast on the DraftKings Network. Ross Tucker, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Mr. Kyle Brown. I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm great. Jamie's here. She's got her Vikings jersey on.
I thought you were going to say Ross Tucker loves high school football, and he knows a lot about that, the NFL, and about you, because you guys were roommates in college.
Yeah. Well, every time you come on, Ross, it's like they write the intro, and they're like, here was my friend from college. Like, everybody knows it. Sometimes I just want to introduce you as a professional. You can respect that.
I don't accept that.
I don't know if everybody does know that. I mean, we say it every time I come on, but you guys are getting millions and millions of new viewers every week. Right. So, it's new to them.
Well, it is maybe. So Ross and I were roommates. There you go. Yep. Listen, I want to talk about the Eagles. Obviously, we're in Mount Laurel right now. It's Eagles country. You're around this team constantly, all preseason. First of all, I'm just going right out of the gate. This isn't even the question that's scripted. Nick Sirianni not having the team out for the banner. Try hard move, or this is actually really cool?
So I have very mixed emotions about this.
Yeah, I get it.
I will say this is extremely on brand and consistent for Sirianni. So I'm 46 years old now. Mm-hmm. I haven't played in almost 20 years. I look at things differently. That is a really special, cool, unique moment that you could have for the rest of your life. I don't think it really will affect the guys in the game that's going to be played right afterwards. So I would love to be out there, but that's just me. I will be there. I'm doing the game for Westwood One with Kevin Harlan, so I will get to experience it. And I'm sure there are some players that would like to as well. However, Sirianni, his message has been very clear. Last year's over. We're moving forward. New team. All those things that the coaches say. But I think what he would tell you and he would tell me is I can't say that all offseason and have Landon Dickerson in my lot and all these guys repeating it. I can't say it all offseason. And then we're out there when they unfurl the banner, which we wouldn't normally do. They had the ring ceremony. They had the parade. They went to the White House. I think he would argue that they've had plenty of moments to appreciate what they accomplished.
Great take.
Yeah, Ross, they're not going to be there, but you will be there and we will be there, so we'll enjoy it for them. But you're calling the game for Westwood One tonight. What are the biggest keys for each team to pull off a win, both teams?
Well, listen, I mean, the Eagles are better. Their roster's better. I'm fascinated by the psyche of the Dallas Cowboys after they just traded a guy I think is like a generational defensive player, arguably the best defensive player in the NFL. If you're the Eagles, you're playing at home, you're the better team. And this is like cliche, but protect the football. I mean, the scenario where the Cowboys win is if the Eagles somehow turn it over a couple times and the Cowboys take advantage. Now, for the Cowboys, two things. I can't envision them winning without these two things, right? Number one, special teams. Remember, everybody that's just coming back to football, the touchback goes out to the 35 now. That means more returns. Kavontae Turpin for the Cowboys, that dude is electric. He needs to make a play for them. And then Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, the receivers are the best thing the Cowboys have going. They need to attack. The Eagles have a new corner in Adoree Jackson, a new safety, Sidney Brown. They need the special teams play, and they need CeeDee and Pickens to make some big-time plays down the field.
I love touchback rule change.
Yes, yes, I love that, Ross. That's a nuance. I also, Ross, Kavontae Turpin is my favorite Cowboy. Unbelievable player. Even at the Pro Bowl games, I'm telling you, they're playing this flag football game. He's the best player out there. Eli Manning, his coach, had him playing defense and offense. He was trying to get Kavontae Turpin the MVP. He's so amazingly good. I want to ask you about a couple other Eagles just because you're such a good resource for that. What is the interesting guy, fantastic player? Let's talk about A.J. Brown. What is the state of the nation on him right now? We've done the books on the sideline. He's not always happy with the passing game. He just won a Super Bowl. It's really cool as he goes into 2025. How do you feel about how A.J. Brown is feeling?
Well, so a couple of things. I love A.J. Brown, and he does prioritize winning over everything else. They got a really unselfish team. I mean, neither A.J. Brown nor Devontae Smith had big years last year. I mean, they both had bigger numbers, 2022, 2023, but they realized kind of with Saquon, and you'll appreciate this, but Saquon and A.J. Brown have this thing where they go back and forth as to who the best player is on the team, and Saquon says it's A.J., and A.J. says it's Saquon. But if you've ever seen A.J. Brown, he's 6'1", like 230. There just aren't receivers built like him. He was still highly, highly efficient, and I believe that they're going to throw the ball more this year. They want Saquon to be healthy for the playoffs, so I actually think A.J. will have a big statistical year because he's that good and because I think the Eagles will throw the ball more this year than they did last year to try to save Saquon.
All right, Ross, enough messing around. You're here on behalf of Draft.
Yeah, here we go.
And
Come on.
Ross Tucker podcast. So you must have a take about who wins this game tonight. But also, for those who are watching or listening eventually, who are making decisions about player props.
Interesting.
Could you enlighten the guests and the fans, please?
Yeah, sure. So I think the Eagles get a late score to probably win by 2 scores. I think it's like 31-20. I have a tough time without Micah Parsons figuring out how the Cowboys will slow down this Eagles offense. I do think the Cowboys will move the ball and score, and 20 points against the number 1 ranked defense that the Eagles had last year would be impressive. As for a prop bet, I put a lot of thought into this because I love my friends at DraftKings. I love the offer they have where you get $300 instantly if you bet $5. By the way, $200 over off of NFL Sunday ticket discount, which is crazy. You know who I'm going with for the prop bet, Jamie?
What?
I'm going with Dallas. Goddard, that is. Over 40 yards receiving. Dallas Goedert against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are scared of Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, so they'll have the 2 deep safeties. They're very scared of Saquon Barkley, so the linebacker's going to be up to stop the run. That means Dallas Goedert against his namesake, second level, behind the linebackers, in front of the safeties, over 40 yards easily. I don't think I can say easily because it's a prop bet, so maybe.
But Ross, let's do the Chris Berman, Tom Jackson thing where I say the player and you say their school. Dallas Goedert from
South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits.
What do you got,
The
man?
Jackrabbits.
Well, Ross, let's stay on the DraftKings app, and you probably said this already, but when they load up that app for the first time this week, what kind of offers can new customers get? Please tell them again.
Well, first of all, Manti, good to talk with you. Secondly, I didn't know you were going to ask me that, so that's why I just said it the last time. I wanted to make sure I got
tell
it
him
in.
again.
Yeah,
But,
I made sure.
listen,
I was told, the guy in my ear said, ask it
repetition
again so that
matters in
Ross gets
advertising,
it.
okay? Repetition matters. If you bet $5, you get $300 instantly in bonus bets. Plus, even existing customers, okay? You get $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket, which is huge, which means everybody watching right now, get the $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket so you can watch me call the Cardinals and the Saints on CBS 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Bam. It's a win-win-win.
Great. Win.
Absolutely awesome. Ross, I'm going to give you something you like. I'm going to walk over here to do it.
Oh.
So you just mentioned how great it was to talk to Manti. There's nothing Ross likes more than high school football and college recruiting. Ross, you got to get in here with this dude. This is the 5-star recruit out of Oahu, Hawaii. Nobody was looking at anybody but him. This story he has of going to USC and Pete Carroll, and they got the locker and the uniform and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Ross, you got to see how big he is. He's, what are you, like 250 now? He's
Yeah.
huge. He's tall. It is an amazing piece of high school prospect come college stuff. Ross, just talk about it because I know you live for this.
Well, no, the crazy thing is I've read this story, and Manti always wanted to go to USC. It was his dream school, and he was so excited, like Junior Seau, to go there. He's probably going to wear number 55. And then, like, the next day or the signing day, God called him and said you should go to Notre Dame instead. So he switched. It's unbelievable.
No, Ross, you got it wrong. I called God. He didn't call me.
But he picked up. He picked up.
But he answered me, though. He did. He ain't calling nobody. You got to call him first, Ross. Come on now.
Wow. We love it. And Ross, we'll talk more about I have so many things to tell you about Manti's recruiting and just it's if you love that type of stuff and no one loves it more than you, it's the best. Everybody, if you love Ross's contagious excitement about football, nobody has it. Listen to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It's right there. It's on the DraftKings Network. You can find him each week on YouTube. Subscribe to all of his stuff, all the audio platforms. I will see you tonight. Let's run into each other somewhere. We're both going to be at the link. Love seeing you. You're the best, man.
Sounds great. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
See you later.
Good to see you, Ross.
All right. That was a great interview with a great guy. But more importantly, DraftKings Sportsbook is the best place to bet touchdowns this season. And this week, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly and get over $200 off Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Download the app and use promo code GMFB. Sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Yeah, there we go.
Stick around. We've got more GMFB coming up. Real game tonight. This is not a drill.